cry. And I think big boys do cry, and big boys should not
Oh yeah.
be alarmed or frightened of crying, because it's a human emotion. It's not crying, oh, it's just a female emotion. It's a human emotion. I was watching a guy on television the other day, on one of the YouTube independent people, and he was talking about the very sad events in Australia on Sunday. And I see him quite regularly moving around the country talking about different things. And he's you might say he's a typical guy. He's a big chap, sounds thoroughly nice, decent man, which he obviously is. But as he was talking, not so, well, it was about this sad event, but it was related items to that. And as he was talking, you could see the odd tear trickling down his cheeks. And I didn't think, oh, that's a bit off. He's a man. What does he think he's doing?
Mm.
I think I was admiring him for not sort of stopping the camera and saying, no, let me gather my thoughts. I mean, he wasn't crying as such, but
Mm.
the emotional way he was expressing what he was saying was causing tears to come down his face. And
Mm.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you try and suppress your inner emotions, that can only lead to other issues emotionally or whatever. But yeah,
Mm.
I take the point you're making. Let's move on from that one. Do you believe when we are born? And I suppose this is about the movements of the moon, isn't it? And astrology.
Mm.
I'm not saying you've got to believe in astrology, but do you believe when we are born in the calendar year in any way affects our personality?
Oh wow. That's oh yeah. Without being superstitious, um, or taking or towing that line of a star sign and all that, I would say yes. Actually, I would say it does. I would say it does. It does affect our personality because, say for instance, you was born in the winter. You then grow up. Um, I think your body is a bit more adaptive to the cold. It would be. It would be. There's got to be something in the baby's body that would sort of want to adapt to the conditions around them and around the house because they're going to be taken out by their mom on a stroller, um, and walked around. So yeah, and you might you might end up being a you might end up either being there's no scientific research to back this. This is just my suggestion, my opinion. Put it that way. Uh, you could be a sort of an introvert. It could make you an introvert.
Mm.
You might always want to just shield or be indoors when it's cold, when it's really cold, because your body tells you um, that's not that's not conducive for you. It's a lot of rubbish now. I'm just
I can't decide whether you think we are affected in our personalities by when we're born. You seem to say you think we are in some
I think
way.
we are. I think we are. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
nothing to back it. That's what I'm saying.
yeah. I mean, it's an interesting one because um, my sister, God rest her soul, she died a couple of years ago from lung cancer. My
Mm.
sister Sue, and I'm not sure she was ever really diagnosed. I'm not sure she was ever really diagnosed, but some years ago she became very ill, and I think probably the diagnosis was some form of bipolar or along those lines. But I think in those days, before she was put on medication, she really was very sick, and it was very sad to see it. But thankfully, over the years, she was okay because she was on medication. Um, but what was noticeable whenever there was a full moon, now this sounds ridiculous, but whenever the moon was full, I suppose that's once a month, a full moon, maybe more, it really affected her. She was at her
Wow.
worst in terms of bits of paranoia.
Oh, wow.
Her medication was sometimes increased to cover that. And over the years, we in the family, we certainly discovered that anywhere near a full moon, Sue would be affected by it. And
Wow.
bless her, she knew that, and she sort of did what she could to, avoid it happening medically wise. But yeah, so that kind of made me think it does. There is something about where when we're born, because strangely enough, I know another person, another woman, not connected to her family, but I know her fairly well, and she was born, I think, 4 days before Sue was, birthday wise, not the same year, but 4 days before, and she has very similar problems.
Mm.
Again, on medication, so nothing overtly wrong. But I know from my discussions with her over time that she does go through stuff at different phases of the moon. Now, some may be listening to us and saying, "What a load of rubbish," but I can only say that is my experience. And
Wow.
occasionally, when you read about a famous person who's gone through some sort of breakdown, I'm not saying they all have a similar birth date to my sister. I'm not,
Yeah.
but it is surprising how often you can marry up people in different periods of birth
Mm.
with similar events or similar
Wow.
parts of similar traits of their character. So I just wondered whether you felt it is significant as to when we are born. And I'm interested that you feel that there is. Next question. And before I ask it, I think I think I know my view is you don't. But my question would be: do you get angry or frustrated very easily? Now, I would think you don't because you're very laid back. You laugh at you say yes, I'm really annoying to my fiance, and then you burst out laughing. So and you say yes, people tell me I'm annoying, and you laugh again. So you
Yeah.
don't obviously react angrily when people say, "Hey, cuz, you well not cuz, but hey, Em, you're really annoying."